Hello everyone, welcome back to Alisa Lifestyle Vlog. So in today's video, let us talk about H1b Visa and J1 Visa. Many of you are wondering which is better, J1 or H1b. Hopefully, I can help you decide which one you think the best for your family. Without further delay, let's start. Let's start with qualifications. In J1, these are the basic qualifications to be eligible for the program. First, you need to have a bachelor's degree in education, or if you are a unit earner, you must have an MA degree that is related to the position you're applying. Next, you need to have at least 2 years of teaching experience. And most importantly, you must be currently teaching upon application. As for H1b, these are the basic qualifications. You must have a bachelor's degree in education, or if you're a unit earner, at least a master's degree related to the position you're applying, at least 2 years experience or more, and you need to have a valid teaching license. So in H1b, it is not important if you are not currently teaching. But the most challenging one to do in H1b is having a valid state teaching license. So basically, the main difference between J1 and H1b in terms of qualification is the currently teaching. So in J1, you need to be currently teaching. This is the problem of some teachers because some of them have stopped teaching after pandemic and they're just currently looking for a job, and because of that they are having problem joining the J1 program because they are not currently teaching. And some are teaching from private school and their contract has ended, and because they cannot renew another contract, so it is so hard for them to really make sure that they're currently teaching upon application. So if that is your case, I think your best choice would be to go for an H1b visa. Fees. So in J1 visa, usually it is the teacher who will be paying for the fees. And I have discussed this one in my previous vlog, what are the common J1 visa fees. Now for H1b, I know you've heard this one that the employer is legally required to pay for the fees. But I need to clarify something. So what I'm talking about is the H1b visa fees only. Okay, so when you're applying H1b outside USA, you will be doing a lot of process before you can even come here. And you have nothing to worry in terms of filing for your H1b visa here in the US because the employer will be the one to pay for that. But the problem is, once you are already processing your OEC and other documents, it will be your responsibility to pay for those fees. Many teachers who got H1b visa are forced to find a local agency to process for their OEC so that they could come here in the USA. Some of them were hired direct hiring from the school, but the school cannot help them process their POEA requirements to get that OEC. So instead of coming here through direct hiring, they are required to go under an agency. And there's also a rule in POA that if the school has petitioned at least 5 teachers, the teachers after that should be under an agency, or else they will not be able to process the OEC. OEC is the exit clearance before you can exit the Philippines through an H1b visa. So in other words, in terms of fees, in J1, you will be paying most of the fees. So more or less, let's say for J1, you must prepare, if you're doing direct hiring, at least 200,000 pesos. And for H1b, supposedly you have nothing to pay, but because some of you will be forced to do an agency, and I heard that agency fees for H1b visa right now range from $7,000 to to $10,000. So yes, it is very expensive. So that's for the fees. Now let's talk about process. So for J1, the process is not that complicated. And in fact, you can have it as quick as 1 month if you are very good at processing documents. So when you're doing direct, this is the process when doing direct in J1. First is you need to find a school. Then the school offers you a job offer. Once you have your job offer, then you will contact a program sponsor. The program sponsor will accept you through the J1 visa program, and they will send you a document called DS 2019. This document is important when you will have to go to the US Embassy for the J1 visa interview. After you get your J1 visa stamp, you will then go to CFO for a seminar, and then after that, you will be able to come here in the USA. Again, the process can be quick and easy, depending on how fast you are in processing documents. For H1B, the process is kind of different. It will not be as easy as J1. In fact, I have some teachers who took more than 6 months to process their H1B before they were able to come here in the USA. So the process is like this. If you're applying direct hiring through an H1b visa, so first is you need to look for a school. Then the school will offer you the H1b visa. After that, there will be a lot of requirements before they can file your H1b visa here in the US. One is a fingerprint clearance. So they need a fingerprint clearance because it is a requirement in order for you to get your teaching license here in the US. So again, when you're applying for H1b visa, you must have a valid state teaching license, or else they cannot process your H1b visa. And this takes a lot of time, especially that you are in the Philippines and the process is here in the US. So first thing you need to accomplish is you need to have the fingerprint clearance. It's like an NBI clearance in the Philippines. That will take a lot of time too. So you need to have someone in the US to help you process that. Please watch this video if you want to know how to process your fingerprint and your state teaching license here in the USA, okay? So once you will have your state teaching license, your fingerprint clearance, you need to submit other documents such as credential evaluations and then your experience, verification of experience. So these documents will need to be submitted to the immigration lawyer of your school so that they can process your H1b visa. The H1b visa can take 3 months for regular processing or 15 days for premium processing, which you need to pay $2,500. That payment most of the time is paid by the applicant because the only required fee for employers are the H1b visa fee, but for premium processing, that's extra. So most of the time, it's the applicant who will pay for that. It's $2,500. So after you have your H1b visa approval, then you will be able to bring that document to the US Embassy for the embassy interview. And then once you have your H1b visa stamp, then you can start processing your PUA requirements for OEC. Let's talk about number of years. So in J1, teachers can teach here for a maximum of 5 years. So the initial is 3 years. Then you will have an option to have 2 years extension. That request will come from your school. So you need to really perform your best so that they will do the request of 2 years extension in behalf of you. In H1B, the initial is 3 years and the maximum number of years to stay is 6 years. So that's additional of 3 years. So 3 years plus 3 years equals 6 years. So J1 is 5 years, H1B is 6 years. Now, what's the difference between the two? So in J1, you must have a waiver in order for you to change your visa to an H1B or to a green card. But for H1B, you don't need any waiver. You will be able to change your visa to green card anytime as long as there's an employer that is willing to do the petition. Or if you will marry a US citizen, they can do it without problem. This is one of the reasons why many teachers prefer the H1B because eventually they want to stay permanently here in the USA. But if your goal is to save money and get enough experience, well, J1 is not bad at all. In fact, for me, J1 is good because of this next reason: dependence. So in J1, your dependent spouse will be able to work once they arrive here until the end of your program. So if you're husband and wife, both of you will be able to work and earn money and save. So in 5 years, that is long enough for you to be able to save enough money for you to start a new beginning in the Philippines. Now for H1B, it's a different case. Spouse will not be able to work during the duration of your visa unless your green card process has started and the first stage, which is the I-140, has been approved. Without the I-140 approval, your spouse will not be able to work if you have an H1B visa. So that means you need to prepare for having a one income family, and that is hard, especially nowadays that everything has gone up. So food prices, house prices, and even gas are very expensive nowadays. So that is a very big problem if you only have one income, unless you have saved so much. So if you are a J1, former J1, and then you shift to H1B, that's okay because you have saved enough while you are in J1 when your spouse was able to work, which was our case. But if you are gonna start here as an H1B, prepare for having one income, and that is gonna be a very challenging time. So I think I was able to provide you the major differences of J1 and H1B visa. So it's up to you to decide which one is better for you and your family. My final message is that when you come here in the USA, do not always think of staying permanently here, okay? Think of the present. Yes, thinking of the future is important, but what you do in the present time will affect your future. So if in present time, your goal is to save and to earn enough, I hope that I was able to give you an idea on what kind of visa you should have. So for me, nothing is wrong with J1, even though other people say I don't like J1 because it's just 5 years. 5 years again is more than enough. And there's also nothing wrong having H1B, but prepare for having one income. All right, so thank you so much for watching, and I hope I was able to help you in my own little way. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more information on how you can teach and live here in the USA with your family. Bye everyone, till the next video.